This is In My Lounge Room, and I'm your host, Sky.
And I'm your other host, Damo, and on this week's episode, we've got part 3 of Beck and the Catfish.
Hey, Damo.
Hey, Sky, how you doing?
Well, just wonderful after 1.5 hours of travelling.
Yeah, that was an interesting journey, stories to tell. You had a nice Uber experience.
He was very chatty.
Yeah, that's sometimes, it's a read the room situation, right?
He wasn't reading it.
No, he was just like, I'm on my own path and my own agenda here, and I feel like talking, and that's what's going to happen.
He certainly did talk.
What have you been up to this week?
Work. Nothing really. What else? Life.
Existing.
Yeah, being a mum.
Yeah.
But
cool.
now I'm kid-free.
Yeah. For your short period in time, and then that ends tomorrow.
Well, I go to Oz Kick and footy, then I get a couple of hours free, and then I'm a mum again.
So, when were the kids taken from your possession?
Friday, yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you get 2 sleeps.
2 sleeps.
Oh, wow.
Except like tomorrow, because it's Oz Kick, I got to be there at 7 a.m.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've
Oh, you?
just
How are
been
you?
working, just the normal kind of existence, nothing special. Hang on, I'm just going to turn that up. Yeah, so just getting through my day and my week. So,
Isn't it fun?
Yeah. Did you hear the COVID news?
No?
Okay, so there was an article yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, where they've identified patient 0.
What? Okay, I totally missed that.
Okay, so as we know, patient 0 is the first person ever to get COVID. So patient 0 is 3 people. And they were scientists who worked in the Wuhan Center for Infectious Disease Research.
What a surprise.
So what's happened is, this is what the FBI reckons, is that these 3 scientists were working on very dangerous research. And they have created, I think it's called the furan cleavages, right? Which is, all the little legs that come off the virus, right? The reason why COVID is more infectious than any other virus is because of the number of things in the cleavage, right? So I assume that they were doing research on infectious diseases and how to prevent them and things like that. But what they were doing is they were doing experiments on the old SARS viruses, and they inadvertently created COVID.
Wow.
One of the scientists, a female scientist, happened to be an expert in the field of bat diseases.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So they were creating mutations using diseases that the bats have and the SARS virus, and they've put them together and they've come up with COVID. And then an incident, quote unquote, occurred of some not described, and all 3 of them contracted COVID. But of course, we know that when you get COVID, you don't necessarily feel like you've got COVID the day you get it. So they might have just felt a little unwell, who knows? But then they've gone home and given it to their family and everyone else on the way. The first person to die from COVID was one of the scientists' wives.
Oh, gosh.
Wives, I should say, yeah. But in that time,
they've infected so many people.
Who knows? But the epicenter was the wet market at Wuhan, right? So obviously one of them has gone there to buy some food.
That's fair.
Now, as we know about markets, it's a very high density of people there. And obviously they've infected everyone at the wet markets, and then bam, people dying in the street. So it exploded from there, but no one got it from eating a pangolin or a bat. It wasn't transferred from animals to
It
humans.
wasn't the Chinese government.
Well, we don't know that.
Okay.
But it was created in a lab and an accident took place. So, yeah, it's full-on Hollywood movie shit.
It is. And, did you ever watch that movie Contagion, Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah.
You can imagine the music, like, that you had at the end when they show how it started.
And it's all like very 12 Monkeys, except that was created for the purpose of warfare. They accidentally created COVID because I assume that they were trying to do, preventative research. But in the meantime, they've created this death virus. The problem comes in, it's obviously been covered up because it's taken 3 years to figure that out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did all of them die?
Oh, they're all dead, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool, okay. I mean, not cool.
Well, there's no one to be held accountable. But, it's unfortunate.
The original COVID was awful. Like, just the footage of, like, the Italian hospitals and, people, like, dying.
Yeah, so thanks for that, science.
Yeah.
But, that's life. We move on. And the old people across the road recently had COVID. So
how were they?
Bob spent 4 days in intensive care hooked up to a respirator.
He's so nice.
Yeah, they're both in their 80s. So, they wouldn't have survived the 2020 version of COVID before we had vaccines and shit. But it also kind of points towards, the vaccine. We already had research because of SARS, but the research that had been developed was obviously part of how COVID came about. Was this research had been done? Yeah, so that was a thing we learned this week. Is that
I missed that.
I think it's because it's one of those. Was one news story. It doesn't change the world. There's more important things to talk about. So yeah.
That's true. So I need to tell you, so I'm just taking out my selfies.
Because you're a millennial. Yeah.
I am. I checked that video. That's fully me. Yeah. I'm such a millennial.
So you were going to announce something or say something? Or
Well, I told you about it, but let's just talk about it. That I was blocked on Instagram, actually twice by two influencers.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was like a fitness influencer when I called her out for being a bullshitter because she put this stupid video. It's on my Instagram, but basically she put this video going, oh, look, social media is all fake. This is how you make yourself look perfect. And I'm like, you're already perfect. Don't bullshit the world. And then she blocked me. And then I was blocked by a trans activist for telling her that maybe she shouldn't fight hatred with hatred.
Now I know I don't want to be too offensive here or group people into a small category.
Oh, come on, just do it.
But I know gay people, trans people, and cross-dressing gay people, and they're fucking bitches. Have you ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of the persona.
My cousin is trans.
Yeah.
She's a total bitch.
So it's part of, and I'm not saying transgender and the people on RuPaul, they're not transgender.
No,
they're
drag
queens, right? But it's part of their persona to be yes queen bitch.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm totally a bitch. So I'm fine with that.
If you're a public figure, and like I said, comedians, I mean, there's a rule in comedy. Either everything's funny or nothing's funny. And so therefore being offensive is funny to someone. Now, them saying, oh, fucking cis, I'm going to get all cis women's husbands and suck their dicks in the bathroom to teach them a lesson. That's just being part of your persona. That's just so yeah, I mean, you've done the honourable thing by pointing out to them, but all you've done is given them.
Oh, and I bet because by the time I was blocked, I could imagine the comments on my comments.
Oh, they would be getting stuck into you,
be beautiful.
For sure.
Yeah. Can you go and have a look so I can see it?
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Don't
I'm
even
kidding.
have my phone. But yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I wouldn't. That's guaranteed bound to happen.
No, but it just annoys me that I'm not a terrible person. And my comment was literally, why do you have to attack? Like, to me, that doesn't do anything. But yeah, she's a famous activist and blah, blah, blah. But I was like,
Why
I really
does
enjoyed her account as well.
that Tash, whatever, that vegan chick,
Oh,
have to go to such extremes?
because she's an idiot.
Because she does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. Because that gets her on the news.
True.
Controversy gets you talking about.
Yeah.
The algorithm, like I said, social media's algorithms, they don't care what you say. The fact that you commented
Yeah.
gives her
I know.
coverage.
Yeah, of course.
So if I go onto Instagram and I say something that I know is going to piss people off, the algorithm's going to then promote me to more people. So it's smart marketing.
Oh
really.
no, it totally is. I'm all for it, but also I just don't like being mean to people.
No, but I mean, I also am not, and I've said this many times, I'm not trans, gay, black, a minority. I don't know what oppression actually is. I'm not even a woman.
No.
Right. So I don't know what oppression actually is. So therefore I don't get to talk about oppression because I can't talk about experience. So I don't, whilst it seems that it's really fucking mean to say something like that, I also don't know what it's like to grow up being a teenager in the wrong body, being a woman, a man who should be a woman, and the pressure that comes in the teasing that you get. and, you know, I don't know what it's like from that side
and
of the
that's
fence.
in my comment. That's what I said. I went, I have no idea what it's like to grow up and be bullied as someone that's trans or non-binary. But, and I said, and I'm an ally, but I said also, I just don't feel that hatred helps hatred.
And it doesn't, but
she's
that
very
doesn't...
much about like, fuck you, everyone who hates us, which is fair.
Well, that's right. But it's like every time, and I'm talking about like just normal people now. When I say normal, I'm not talking about non-trans. I'm talking about not influencers, right?
Like
just
us.
normal people. Okay. I see people talking about haters. You don't have haters. Like what? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I see just people on, you know, Instagram and Facebook or Snapchat, like in stories and stuff.
Haters.
Like, just going, fuck the haters. I'll do, you know, fuck the haters. And it's like, okay, so what you're saying is there's one person in your life who you've had
Probably
a disagreement with. And so you're going out there and you're like, fuck the haters, biatch.
Yeah.
And all of your friends are like, yeah, fuck them. Yeah. You just be you.
Right.
And they're probably talking about one person they don't get along with. You don't have haters, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
People don't care enough about you to hate you. Like, and if they do, well, that's the them problem.
Yeah.
I don't think you're not famous. You don't have haters. You're just some suburban mum, you know, like, or dad or whatever. You don't have haters. So whenever I see people going, fuck the haters, I'm like, you are so full of yourself. It's not funny.
But that's like the people, we've had this conversation before, who are like, I'm so sad. And then they wait for the people going, what's wrong, babe?
Yeah,
what's
absolutely.
wrong, hun?
Yeah. But that, I think that's also it's a very it's borderline narcissism, really. It's like, I need to be more important than anyone else. It doesn't matter. But I suppose where it goes into narcissism is they're not necessarily bringing others down by doing it.
No.
They're just seeking attention. So it's
Lots of
probably not
attention.
narcissism. It's just boredom. I don't know. But yeah. Long story short, you don't have haters.
No.
No one cares.
No,
So,
they really
yeah.
don't.
Something else that I was going to... Oh, Champ. How you doing, Champ? So you messaged me because a gentleman, I use that lightly, that you were talking to online called you Champ. Can you explain the context?
Well, I did see him. So,
Okay.
yeah. And then he messaged me saying he had a good time, Champ.
So did you go out last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time, Champ?
Yeah. Yeah, Champ. Yeah.
It's fucking weird, all right? So, like I said, champ is like if you're 70
Mm.
and there's like a 12-year-old, how you doing, champ?
Mm.
Or your mates, your really close mates.
Mm.
Yeah, champ. You don't call a girl you went on a date with champ. You may as well call her bro.
Bro, brah, brah.
It's weird.
Mm.
It's also, like I said, that there it goes.
Okay.
So I've
Still
got some
alive.
sound deadening on the walls that just probably isn't doing anything, but it just fell down. Yeah, champ is prison slang for pedophile.
Cool. I mean, I feel like I'm not. I definitely am not.
Yeah. So, and I Googled it because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's prison slang for something. Yeah, it's for pedophile because champ rhymes with tamp from like tamper. So you're tampering with children. So,
Yeah.
So a guy, he's obviously got disregard for that and he doesn't know that.
Honestly, I didn't know that until you told me.
If you call someone who's been in prison champ, they will punch you in the face.
That's fair.
So it is like I said, unless you're talking to Mike Tyson, you can say, "How you doing, champ?" Because he is the champ. Not now, but once you're a champion, you're always champion.
Always.
That's just like
What about
Eddie.
if you were like year 9 swimming champion?
Yeah.
Cool, I'm champ.
But it's just, I think world champ
Okay, fine.
is worrying because you're not actually a champion until you've conquered everyone in the world.
Fine.
But like Eddie Hall, for example, he still gets to call himself world's strongest man, even though he only won the title once in 2017.
And it was awesome.
He's still allowed to be called world's strongest man because at one point in time he was, and that was his title. Now, there's plenty of others, like there's that... Polish dude who's won it 5 or 6 times, and then there's dudes like Brian Shaw who's won it 4 times and still competes. They all get to be called world's strongest man. Can you just fucking stop?
Cats.
Stupid cat. Oi, get out of there.
But I want to play.
Thank you.
What about like a pie shop that calls itself Best Pie in WA?
That's opinion.
When they win an award. But it was from the 1996 show.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Forever?
They can do that forever, yeah. Because at one point they did. They had.
That's true.
It's just like you'll see restaurants with like gold plate winner 2003.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that chef doesn't even work here anymore and the menu's changed 6 times, but sure.
Yeah.
Once upon
You're still a
time,
gold plate award winner.
You were a gold plate. Like Tidy Town 1973. Mark and Budden Tidy Town winner.
Oh. It's like
probably not, but
Best Street 1996.
Yeah, cool. Good for you. Yeah. So anyway, any other interesting?
My boys watched the Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Striped Pajamas. Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
So Benjamin said to me the other day, he goes, "Look at me, Mum," and he did like the full Nazi salute with the moustache, and I went, "Okay, it's time. It's time." We've always skimmed around the Jewish sort of element because we're not practicing, but I can't have my child Nazi saluting me.
Can I just say that no one should? I
No,
don't care if
obviously.
you're Jewish or not.
Yeah, no, obviously.
It's worse if you are Jewish.
Yeah. I don't know why he was doing it. They must have been playing at school. I mean, obviously that's an issue in itself. And I went, right, we're going to watch this. So we sat down and watched it. And I think I mean, he's 7, but I just needed him to understand that a lot of people died because of an evil man, including our family.
Yeah. So. And did you explain to him that Nazis get punched in the face?
Yeah. We did it all. Yeah.
So if you do a Nazi salute in public, or you do say if you've got a swastika on, someone might punch you in the face, and no one will care.
That's true. Because you don't do that. Yeah.
The rest of society will just go. Well, it's just like if you went to court and the judge said, "Okay, so why did you punch this man in the face?" And you said, "Because he's a Nazi." The judge would go, "Well, okay.
Fair. Yeah.
That's what we do. We punch Nazis because..."
Sustained.
Yeah. Like, rule, don't be a Nazi.
Correct.
Yeah, so anyway, we've got more content.
Okay.
So we're going to get into it. So we're at about the 20-minute mark. So I'm just going to drag this audio
at?
right now.
Yeah. Oh, you mean today? I thought you meant of like her conversation.
In this conversation, I mean, no. With her conversation, I don't know. I think we're less than halfway, but
Cool.
there's a lot there. But I'm going to grab this and drag it forwards, and we can have a listen and continue on. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And so he's talking to me and he's like, so with our date, he wouldn't tell me where we were going. I was like, well, dude, I need to know what shoes because I like to wear heels. If it's something that I can't wear heels for, like I need to know.
So we're going out to an unmarked grave where I'm going
Well, that's
to
what I
put
was.
your
I
body.
started joking. I was like, dude, I'm going to be murdered. And he's like, I'm not going to murder you. And he's got like a very.
That's what a murderer would say.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm definitely getting
I'm not a
now.
catfish. That's what a catfish would say. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's like, no, I'm definitely not going to murder you. He's like, anyway, so he calls me and he's like, I'm like, he's
black lung.
No, I literally, whenever someone does one of those fake coughs, I'm always like, you know that scene from Zoolander where he's like, I got calls my lung. Oh,
I've got the black lung. Yes.
Yeah. So I immediately start thinking that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so here we go.
Mum, I can't go to school today.
Sends me a snap of a positive COVID test. I'm like, COVID what? Like, is COVID even still a thing? Like,
this was only just late last year.
Yeah, right. So I had
So what
COVID.
if you got a positive COVID test?
I had COVID. Now I'm unvaccinated, so I had COVID really badly in April/May. I had it for about 2 weeks. So this is the only reason why I did believe this lie. So the first week I actually didn't know I was sick. Don't want to reveal I went to quite a few places because I just had like a bit of a cold and I was negative rats testing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even like nothing was coming up and I was like, what the hell? And everyone's going, just test again, test every day. Tested every second day for a whole week. Negative. Right? It wasn't until I got a PCR and I'd been going like, I've been everywhere. Man. Like, I'd literally been everywhere.
God,
And
if it was 2020, they would have contract traced you and named you on the news.
Yeah. I would have been like a little self-contained bomb.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've gone everywhere and I've gone, oh, you know what? To shut everyone up, I've got to go PCR. I was still doing my regular workload. I only had 1 day off where I didn't go into my actual physical job. And so that's because my boss was like, you just stay at home. If you're not feeling too great, just stay at home. And all I had was like a runny nose and a bit of a sore throat. So I was fine. It wasn't until I got the PCR test that I actually got really sick. And I was bedridden for 4 days. I couldn't get out of bed. Like my kids made me food and brought me food. And my kids didn't actually get that sick from me. So I don't know if it's just because I'm older. I was in the prime age, like a woman in the 30s.
It's different for everyone. Like,
But
I mean,
I was pretty sick.
I was unable to fucking do anything.
Yeah,
I felt like I'd I felt like I'd been bashed.
Hit by a truck. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck.
I'd been hit with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I was really sick. So, and I suffer migraines. So already I get like really bad migraines. So this was like migraine times 1,000. It was the longest migraine I've ever had.
Yeah.
So for me, I was just like managing my pain in bed, and I hate taking pain meds, but I was managing my pain. So I understand when someone gets COVID and they say that they're sick.
Yeah.
That it's a possibility.
Well,
It's a possibility. I don't necessarily believe it, but I know it's possible.
Yeah, but people have died from it. So, you know, you got to kind of, if someone goes, I'm really sick from COVID, you just believe them.
Yeah, exactly. So I just was like.
That was his.
Getting out of the date.
Yeah, sending you a photo of a positive COVID test.
Yep. And
getting out of the date. How many times did you try and organise to meet him?
multiple.
Okay, I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to go back a bit.
Okay.
But can we just talk about the cancelled dates? So initially he cancelled because of COVID and then she said multiple. I think she does answer. She goes into more detail of what multiple means. How many times of a guy cancelling a date or being stood up for a date? Stood up, I suppose, zero chances.
Zero.
That's it.
Yeah.
But how many times can a guy cancel a date? Twice?
I think twice.
You just give me a
twice.
V for victory there.
V for So I would say the first time you go, yeah, okay, that's fair. I think twice I would be like, you're clearly not that interested. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Am I harsh?
No, that's fine. I mean, I've had situations where I was actually going back through like my chat logs and I was scrolling through, and this is a while back, and I was scrolling through and going, oh, who's that person? I don't remember who they are. And then looking at my chat log just in Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever and going, oh, that's someone I was talking to. That's my dishwasher finishing. But yeah, so there was a conversation that ended because I got sick. They were going back to like 2018,
Yeah.
2019. I got sick, so I messaged her and said, look, I can't meet you. We'll organise another time. That was it.
I've had that happen after one. Yeah, I've cancelled once.
And
Yeah.
then I've like messaged her and didn't hear back
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I actually didn't message her again for like a week. So she probably, and then she left me on unread. So she's just gone, oh, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
And he's ghosted me.
Yeah.
So I just went, whatever. But yeah, some people are like, well, you've cancelled. That's your chance. And I'm like,
Yes.
how, you're not that fucking special.
I've cancelled before because either sick, babysitter's cancelled, etc. And I've had people be like, "Oh, this happens all the time. You're clearly just leading me on," and then just block me. And I'm like, "Well, I mean, maybe like life happens, but I think any more than two times, no."
Yeah. You've got to, and I think like I've spoken to Beck about this outside of recording this, where she's like, why are there so many catfishes? Why do I get catfished all the time? You know, it's not happening to other women I know. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's just that most people just go, oh, well, he's cancelled the date a couple of times. Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah. Yes.
People don't go, oh, I need to look up who he is.
No.
And I said, so you are looking into it. And we've said this in both episodes previously. You are looking into it in a way that other people don't.
Just would
Other
never.
people just see the red flags and they get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Whereas you had some sort of mission. And she says it herself. She needed to prove it. She needed to.
What?
But while you're putting energy into this guy and proving that he's a catfish, you could have moved on and been talking to someone else.
Also, I know, like, she'll probably go into it more, but why does she need to prove it? To warn others? Because in the end, a catfish is a catfish is a catfish.
She has said that, and she did say it on previous
I
episodes.
probably missed that.
It's just because
She wanted to. Yeah.
because it's interesting to her or whatever. But at the end of the day, she's not getting catfish more than anyone else. It's just other people don't notice it. So that's the whole reason I wanted to do these episodes is because people can kind of go, oh, maybe I was being catfished. Maybe that guy cancelled because he never had any intention of seeing it. So there is lessons to be learned.
It's like the guy that I kept messaging for like, probably 2 months, and I kept saying, let's catch up. And he kept saying, I'm not ready. And finally I was like, well, I'm definitely ready. So this is ridiculous. And I just got rid of him.
Yeah. So we'll just bring this back in and continue on. You try and organise to meet him.
Multiple. So he was sick for 2 weeks and there was sketchy 2 weeks.
Were you initiating this or was he?
So I got mad. So so that was the first one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then he organised the second one. And this is where he did the weird thing. Weird thing, everyone. So the second day he goes, I'm giving you a week in advance. You can wear heels. We're going to go to the movies. We're going to do this. So now he's telling me.
You have permission to wear heels.
Because I said I want to know what shoes I'm wearing. That's my thing. So I
Okay.
wanted to know where I was going.
Yeah.
Because if I was going
I get it.
bowling,
Yeah,
so he's
yeah.
like, you can wear heels to this if you
Yeah.
wish. I was like, okay, great.
Sorry, I thought he was like,
telling me no.
you are wearing.
I wear what I want,
Yeah.
and I always look good. But so yeah, he then says to me like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go to the movies. I'm gonna pay. This is my treat to you. You know, you're a single mum. My dad's raised me right.
Yeah, that's what I do with it. It's more of a like, if I made a date with someone and then I had to bail, because I'm very much a pay your own way kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
100% should pay my own way.
if I fucked it up, I'd be like, you know what? I'm sorry, so therefore I'm taking you somewhere nice and I'm fucking paying for it because that's the
You're
right thing to do.
paying for somebody's time that you've wasted previously.
That you wasted previously, yes.
So, and obviously for me, because I'm self-employed, if I don't work, I don't get paid. So if I make time for somebody, I'm literally losing money.
Yeah.
I would rather work
Yeah,
if you're going to waste my time. Yeah. So and I'm very upfront about this as well. So he was like, I'm going to pay for you. And I like to pay my own way because I don't want a man to think that one, I can't provide for myself or
they own you.
two, that I owe them something after the date because hell fucking no. If there's no vibe, nothing's happening.
Doesn't matter.
I will literally go home sad and sort myself out. But anyway, so
That's
then
normal.
he says, like, yeah, I'm going to take you on this date, blah, blah, blah. So 2 days before this next date, so this is the second date, ghosted. And I was like, oh, okay. But completely ghosted. Like, no contact whatsoever for 4 weeks. So after 4 weeks,
Uh,
Yeah, go. Yeah.
so you ghosted for 4 weeks. You ghosted for 4 weeks and you, okay, I know something else is going to be said, but sorry, ghosted is ghosted. You just blocked them.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
That comes into zombie territory.
Yeah.
If someone comes back after 4 weeks,
No.
you
it's a no.
go, sorry, you died.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Unless it's established that you have
Word it.
very long breaks
Yeah.
in your text. But if you're texting a guy every fucking day like
Yeah,
she was,
yeah.
and you're deeply like she's interested in,
Yeah.
like she hadn't like I think she said it had been 2 years or something since the last time she'd even slept with someone. 2 or 3 years.
Very
Right?
long time.
So she's not about to just be, if she's talking to someone, I assume it's because she's interested
Yeah.
in them, or she wants to catch them out as being a catfish.
Well,
So,
that
yeah.
one.
But yeah, no, yeah, you're
4
right.
weeks.
Yeah, so we'll continue on.
Okay.
so after 4 weeks, and I'm stubborn and petty, so I will not message someone and be like, "Oh, why don't you love me anymore?"
And so
like
you
it's
shouldn't.
no, I'm like, "Fuck
I'll
you."
send you a message, like, and this has happened to me, like, gone out, and then I've messaged them afterwards, and they've given me like a short response, and then I've messaged them again, and they've thumbs upped me,
Oh, that's the worst.
and I've gone,
Those people.
and I'm
Ugh.
like, oh, okay. So there's no conversation to be had here. Left it a couple of days, and then messaged them, hey, how you doing? Ignored. I'm like, out of there. You don't want to talk to me, and you don't have the fucking guts to say it.
Yeah, like,
Fuck
hey,
you.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
it's communication. It costs nothing.
No.
Just be upfront. Like, hey, I didn't feel the vibe. Hey, got someone else in
I'm not
mind.
going to cry myself to sleep over it.
No.
I'm going to go, okay, fair enough.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
you're showing me this is the nicest you're ever going to be in the dating phase, and you're going to be a piece of shit. Fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, just go.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, whatever. So 11:30 at night. Now he mustn't realize what time I go to bed. I go to bed at like
4
2.
weeks later.
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
weeks later, I get this big long message. I actually have it saved, so I could read it out, but I'm not going to. It's very long. But essentially, he tells me that he's very sorry and that his parents. He's from his hometown his home state is Queensland. So he's like, I've been back to Queensland. My parents have told me to message you.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Queensland isn't like a data desert. So it's almost like he went to Queensland and just like lost his phone or
I don't know. But the thing that gets me is she knows this.
Yeah.
She is playing along.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, even though she knew in retrospect, I suppose, but she knew before she even agreed to go on a date with the guy
that he was slightly dodgy.
that he was dodgy.
Yeah.
He COVID. So but she's still there's like she's got the little angel and the devil sitting on her
Yeah.
shoulder. Where on one side it's going,
Maybe.
this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
Red flag, red
Yeah.
flag. But on the other side is this voice going, yeah, but maybe not.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Just hang in there because maybe he's Superman. No, he's not.
No.
But her logic.
I think I think when you've been single for a while, I think you have that hope. And so maybe even though like she was like, oh, I'm going to be a detective at the same time. Yeah, she was like, maybe I can change him.
Or maybe it's not true.
Yeah.
Maybe he is a good guy.
Yeah. And I'm just overreacting over everything.
That's
Also,
it.
the parents. What?
So fucking funny. This episode is where it really all the weird shit starts to, and like she said, this is where it gets weird. It's already fucking weird.
It's very weird.
It's just that now it goes next realm of crazy. It's
Okay.
good. It's good. So
Continue.
we'll continue.
Okay.
So he's like, I've been back to Queensland. My parents have told me to message you because I'm very heartbroken about everything that's happened. And I'm thinking, as I'm reading this, I'm like, what the fuck, heartbroken? Like, what's happened? Like, I haven't even
So
done anything.
and I'm pretty sure that at this stage as well, like me personally, I'm not a woman, but I know lots of women who if a guy was like, my parents told me to do this, you'd be like, what kind of fucking man are you?
Well, yeah, I thought he was a pussy. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way. So, I'm thinking, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, my dad actually told me, like that I should message you because I really liked you, and I'm worried that I've fucked everything up with you by ghosting you. And then it says, he proceeds to say, so I went out
That makes
a couple
me
days.
cringe a little bit, but
Yeah. So, and obviously now I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I literally have no clue. Like, I'm about to be blindsided so hard.
Yeah.
So he goes, 2 days before I was going to meet you, he's like, I went to the pub with my work friends, my work colleagues. Now he says he works with 6 men.
Here
6 men.
in Queensland?
No, here.
Here, right.
And then he obviously went to Queensland after this incident.
Mhm.
So he
says he did. But
yes, I don't think he did because I said I want proof and
Yeah.
obviously never got it. But so then he says like there was an incident at work and I nearly got fired over you. And I was like, over me? I was like, what the hell? So I'm reading this big long thing. And he said that his friend, and he named this friend as Anthony, which I don't believe this person's friend. Anthony? And so I think it was like, yeah, Anthony or something.
Even exists?
Yeah, it probably doesn't exist. And also because I have such a good memory, I always like refer back to that person later on, as I will tell. But so I said, oh, okay. So this person has been asking him why he seems like he's in such a great mood, and he's like messaging me. And he's like, oh, go and show us a picture. And he's like, I showed them my favorite picture of you. And I said, what picture was that? It was like, I'm dressed. So it's like, it wasn't like a nude or anything. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm actually fully covered up to my neck. So this person must have incredible facial recognition skills. So
well, I'm just going to say that there's a thing called a super recognizer, right? Which is something that I suffer from.
Yeah, same.
I didn't hear about it until about 10 years ago. Whereas you don't have the ability to forget faces. Like
I have remembered people that my friends have hooked up with like one time, like I've known for hours, and I've seen them later, and I'm like, where is that person from? I know that person.
I remember people that I walk past in the street and see for 5 seconds.
Oh, geez, so yours is even
later,
worse.
I'll see their face again, and I'm like, I know that face. I don't know why I know that face.
You know, people in your dreams are actually people that you remember. Like, yeah.
I heard about it on Hack on Triple J. They were talking about it, but I do not possess the ability to forget faces.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, especially when people are dicks.
Yep.
But yeah, so this friend has said, I've seen this girl, Rebecca, said my name on Reddit. And I was like, Reddit? And as I'm reading, he's like, yeah, so your nudes are all over Reddit. Your ex probably did this knowing that I have a toxic ex. And I was like, well, hold on. My ex has never had nudes of me. So that's impossible. It wouldn't have been him. And I was like, okay, so who else could put... And I said, what did this photo look like? I said, just describe this. First of all, I instantly called him. Does not answer. And he's going, I can't answer the phone. I'm very upset. I'm crying. And I'm thinking, what the heck? So he's crying and he won't answer, but he'll respond via text. So now I'm thinking, this motherfucker has a wife and he's in bed.
This is about when you brought me into the picture and explained this is when you were this had just happened, I think, and you were telling me this because you were at this point going, I'm fucking suspicious, but I like the guy, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
So his personality is fine. So I don't understand if he's
manufactured personality.
He's like that is so calm and collected and so it seems so genuine that for me I was like, what the fuck? So obviously and I've discovered it's not just happened to me, so I'm not the only one. I'm not a complete moron, but for the length of time. So anyway, he's like, yeah. So he showed me on Reddit. He showed me this Reddit thread, and there's all these photos of you on there, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? And the weird thing is, in Snap you can't push enter, so there's no like enter space in between the paragraphs. But this paragraph, so I said, you've copied this from somewhere, and he said, yeah, of course, but there was not. My name is not in that at all. Like he's not used my name, which means this is a copy and paste. So he's used this particular ghosting technique, zombifying, coming back from the dead on multiple women. 100% he would have done this multiple times.
Oh, I've just got so much to say, but I don't know where to start. You know how, just because she keeps going, if you ever see this guy, well, like you said, no one is, because they just know you're an idiot, so goodbye, right? And he just...
Yeah. I think that, but it's like I said, I mean, because people don't notice it, that's the whole point of this, is to go, here's someone who did notice it but did nothing about it. If this kind of thing happens to you, you're probably getting catfished. The point that you're making, though, is that people don't care enough about it and they just move on.
Exactly.
Mm.
So this whole Reddit thing, like we all can access Reddit. There's an app. It's online. Did she go onto Reddit?
Ooh, just keep
Oh
listening.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to recap the last bit. So he showed a guy at work a photo of her, and he said her nudes are on Reddit, and I've seen her boobies.
But she's like, I don't send nudes.
Well, she does send nudes, but
not to
she
him.
said that
Yeah.
she hasn't sent them to him.
Yeah.
Or she may have sent them to him, but basically, well, there'll be more.
Okay.
The photo that is claimed to be on Reddit
Yeah.
is not a photo that she's sent to anyone.
So she's saying
That's allegedly on Reddit.
Okay.
And she does look at Reddit and it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Right.
It's
But
just,
the
it's
photo
very
that-
I get
yeah.
very confused.
So he's like sends her a copy of the photo or something, and she's like, I haven't sent that photo to anybody except for maybe him.
Oh.
Right. So, there is no Reddit post.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. But
Okay.
anyway, we'll carry on.
Go on.
So yeah, he's used this, and I've gone, okay, fine. You're not going to answer my phone calls? I call my sister straight away. And I call my sister and I said, we need to get on Reddit. We need to find me. Because if I'm on there, and I don't even care that I'm on there, because I always joke about getting OnlyFans, and I'm very
At least you
open
make
about
money
this.
out of that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I said, this guy, I'm going to sign him up. He knows my face. He knows my boobs, apparently. Great. Let's get him signed up. Let's make some money off this dick. So anyway, I've like, this Anthony, come on. #1 fan. So yeah, I've gone on and I can't find my photo anywhere. I've typed in
And you've done
everything.
reverse image searches
And
of your face.
so
and
he
yeah.
told me it was me in bed and you can see my face and my boobs. Now I only have one of those photos. One. And I reverse Google imaged it. Does not come up with anything. So then I started reverse Google imaging like a bunch of other ones, thinking
Is that
like,
the photo you may have sent to someone, you think?
oh, look, I went through a little bit of a phase where I was like, let's go, let's get some male attention. So possibly,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, I know that everyone that saved it. And I may have deleted some of those people, but like, how sad are you to go and share somebody's nude? It's actually a crime. So you're a fucking loser if you're doing it. And 2, wow, I must be really fucking good at my nudes. So it's fire. You want to
People
share it
like
with
your
everyone else?
boobs
Yeah,
and- yeah,
yeah,
great,
exactly.
yeah.
So yeah, I was like not phased because I was like, oh, free marketing if I decide to have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like laughing about this because I think it's so funny. And my sister's like, you're not even upset. And I'm like, no. I know the cost of if my nudes get out there. That's my problem. My problem. I shouldn't have sent the photo. I know it's my responsibility.
Just
to
on
not
that
do
though, if you, because I know people who have OnlyFans, and so this person, there's a thing that you can use where all of your content can be tracked. So if someone steals your content, like downloads your videos or your photos, and then they put that anywhere online, this pings it automatically.
Oh.
So you can actually use software to find your content. So yeah, so it's like deep, dark, like it's like Google image search, but on a specific, it looks for the metadata, not just the photo. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah. So I'm like, my sister's like, oh, you're not upset. I'm like, no. I said, this is just me. Like, I got to learn from these experiences.
But then continue on with so what he was telling you, the reason he hadn't been in contact and the reason he was so upset, and his dad said contact her, and the interaction he had with Anthony resulted in.
So he's seen these photos of me, and he got mad because apparently this guy was like, there's no way this girl is interested in you. Look at her. She's like too good for you. So I'm thinking, well, he must really be a fat loser if this was a real situation. But he then goes and and so this guy's taken these photos and shown everybody these photos of me, which don't exist.
Yeah.
And then he's punched this guy in the face in a pub, and then the police have come and arrested him, and he spent the night in lockup. Now, unfortunately for him, I have been on a date with a cop. I know police officers, and I immediately call them, and I'm like, hey, just want to get some clarification. Would you arrest someone for punching a dude in the face at a pub?
Sorry. This is crazy. Just a quick one about I've been on a date with a cop and
She dated a cop for about 6 months.
Okay, so not just one date.
Yeah,
okay.
no. She was seeing a cop for a long time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just was like, what do you mean one date and then you know cops?
I think she's just being private.
Okay.
So I probably shouldn't say that, but no, she dated a cop for some time.
Okay.
And she has friends who are cops.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
I immediately call them and I'm like, hey, just want to get some clarification. Would you arrest someone for punching a dude in the face at a pub? And they said, well, no. They said it depends on the violence and what the victim wants. And I said, okay. So of course I go back and then I ask him and I said, oh, so how many times did you punch him? And he was like, twice in the face. He's like, the first punch, I don't actually know where it hit him in the face, but the second one definitely hit him in the jaw. And I was like, oh, okay, okay. So I've got some answers. And I said, so did he press charges? And he was like, no, he actually dropped them. So therefore he would never have gone to lock up. So I already know this is a lie. And at this point, I don't know. I feel like I wanted to catch him out now. So I'm going to do everything in my power to pretend like I'm stupid to get down to the level that he's going to start revealing more of who he is. So now I've made it a mission in my head that this liar person is going to get caught out. So I'm then like, okay, cool. So you went to lock up? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, were you really drunk? Were you breathalyzed and all that? And he was like, yeah, I was, but they just released me in the morning. And I was like, okay, well, you never would have gone to lock up, you fucking liar. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, so then what? And he goes, well, then obviously it was a work incident. So I'm this guy's boss, so I nearly got fired. And they stood me down for 2 weeks with no pay. So I went to Queensland with my family, which is why they told him to message me, because he told them about me before. But he's too scared to meet me. Well, I always ask men, because this happens to me a lot. I'm talking to a guy, we're having a great conversation. I say, meet me, and they get scared. Almost ghosted instantly. And it's because I'm, one, direct. Two, I'm not as broken as what they, I think, assume I am. And I'm intimidating as a result.
It seems that's been happening to Sky a lot lately. Like, she's been organising dates and then they just...
On the date, ghost, yeah.
Yeah, on the day. Like...
They'll be talking up until that point. It's happened to me a lot. And it did bother me at the start, but now I'm like, fucking loser, next. You know, like...
Well, it's like I said at the beginning, like the end game. And for those guys, it's like... Are they that insecure that they just get so, they get caught up in it and then they go, oh, fuck, I can't do this, and they back out? Or did they just not have any intention of meeting you? And they just want to get off on, like, are they just beating off on the fact that they're talking to a woman?
I mean, maybe. And maybe it's the nude thing. It's like maybe getting women's nudes feeds their ego, but they're not
getting them, even if they're just talking to you.
I mean, look, sometimes I don't get them. But yeah, I don't know, because I feel like I intimidate men on a level.
If it's just about getting nudes, I could like pick up my phone right now and just.
I always go on Pornhub if you want some. There's the photo section in Pornhub. Yeah. Go there, please.
And it's just like dick pics. Like if a woman wants to see a dick, there's plenty of really.
Oh, I forgot about that part of my story too. So he dick fished me as well.
Okay, but there's plenty of dicks that you can see online, and they're awesome. They're not some, and they were taken professionally photographed, and you're probably seeing a really hot dude attached to it too, not just a close up of some dude's dick. Sounds like an idea for an app. Plenty of dicks. When you're just out for the dick pics,
yeah, right.
Just use plenty of dicks.
Foot fetish app, so why not?
Yeah.
Plenty of dick.
That's just called the internet.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So then, I demand, after this scenario, I said, right, well, I want to meet you right now. Like, you need to sort out a date over this weekend because I want to meet you. And I'm just trying to get this person to actually meet me.
Yeah.
Because right now, I know he's lying. He's a liar. He's lied about everything. And I just want to see who this person is. Because now I'm thinking he must have a wife. There's something that he's hiding that he clearly is never going to meet me. Because I don't understand the end game either. What, you want some nudes? What the fuck? That's so sad. So I'm thinking, I just want to see who this person is. I want to get enough of his trust to be like dumb, submissive, whatever he wants. So I start like playing his game at him. I also just want to say I may or may not have known which BP he frequents in the morning because he's literally said, I'm at this BP. I actually went there to see if I could spot him, but I couldn't. So obviously now I know that he's a complete catfish in the way he looks as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, I ended up trying to get him to meet me again. And of course, what does he do? A drumming injury on his hand, which the biggest part of this particular lie was the fact he got into a doctor's twice in the same day with no appointment. That was the biggest part of the lie. I was like, that is the lie right there. Like,
And
come on.
How does an injury to your hand make you incapable of going on a date?
Well, so he was playing the drums, and the drum stick had like a groove on it, and the groove kept snapping, and it actually cut his hand, and he had a blister. Which, okay, fine, I can believe that. I'm sure drummers get blisters.
I'm sorry. If you're a $6 million a year professional drummer, throw away that $20 fucking set of drums and just get another one.
Well, I don't know. No, because he was testing them. He was testing them to.
There are professional drummers in the biggest bands in the world who don't make that kind of money.
Right.
Why would a guy who tests drums
Exactly.
be on $1,500 an hour?
So ridiculous.
Find it, and he's like, I don't hold them properly. He's like, sent me pictures of how he holds them. He sent me pictures of his hands.
Wait. So he gets paid $1,500 an hour for testing drums, yet doesn't hold his sticks properly?
Blistered and all these things, and they are his hands because I've literally seen him wanking. So they are his hands, and these videos are him. This must be his real dick, not the dick fishing one. He sent me videos of him wanking. So they are his hands because he actually said my name in the videos.
Right.
So 100% that's him. He sent me videos of him in the shower. He sent me videos of me. This person is him. I think I'm the only person.
Was that showing his face, those photos?
Yes, but there was always a filter. He sent videos of him talking. This is why I think I trusted him so much. He sent videos of him talking, responding to questions I specifically asked. I sent him, how do I know you're not a catfish? He sends me a video back with a filter, and he's like, why the fuck would I be a catfish? Why would I send you this ugly mug instead of like...
Okay, sorry. So video sent with a filter and she was still like, oh, no, maybe.
Yeah, see, this is where I got confused because the photos that he sent her of himself were different to the photo on the profile that she sent me.
Okay.
It's quite clearly a different guy.
And yet she didn't question that? Or she
I'm not quite sure what
and
happened
then
there.
And then the filtered video, if someone sends me a video and they're filtered, like, so you can't tell it, wouldn't you be like, can you just send me a video of yourself?
I'm not sure.
I'm confused.
But like I said, she knew he was full of shit, but she had an agenda by this point to catch him. So even though he's sending these videos, after the whole, 4 weeks of ghosting, I punched a guy, bullshit.
Penis.
And she's like, all right, I want to meet you after seeing the giant penis.
Yeah.
I don't know if that had any influence, but I want to meet you. And then he hurt his hand, so he can't go on a date. Yeah. Okay, let's say I'm really interested in a girl. Okay. And I've already cancelled on her once because I had COVID. And the next time we're due for a date, I hurt my hand.
In a drum.
My hand. I haven't lost my leg.
No?
I haven't been hospitalized. I've hurt my hand, so I might need to get some stitches or a bandage.
Sure.
You know what I do? I turn up to that fucking date and
Absolutely.
I act like a fucking hero because chicks dig scars.
They do. It's true.
I'd be like, check it out. So I was like at my $6 million a year drumming job because even though the most successful drummers in the world don't make that kind of money unless they're actually fucking in the biggest bands there are. Yeah. I test drums and I make $1,500 a day, $1,500 an hour. Look at the injury I got. I have a bandage. I can't show you the wound, but I'm hard because look at this. I sucked it up and I came here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's a normal attitude of a drum tech. But it's,
I know drummers who have busted their hands playing the drums and then continued to play, spraying blood all over their drum kits.
Honestly,
and then gone, look at me, hurt my hand.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of things. Like professional sports people have ruined, done their knee and just kept going, and because
I can't come to the date where I'm going to have to sit there and have a drink and talk, maybe eat, possibly walk, because I have this sore hand.
I can't believe she
No
kept-
one says that.
No,
and
no one.
And she didn't buy it. I'm sure she didn't
No,
buy
she
it.
must. Yeah.
But
I just don't know why she kept going. I mean, I know why, but I've got better things to do. No offense, but yeah.
I think she did mention earlier in a previous episode that she didn't have anything better to do. She was bored, so why not? Because she's up till 2 a.m., so why not fuck with the dude?
Okay. I mean, I prefer to sleep, but yeah.
But yeah, when she said that, that's why I was straight up like, what, because you can't go to a date with a sore hand? I'd rock up to a date on crutches to get the sympathy.
Right? Yes.
Look at me. Hurt myself.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'll get the door for you still though, because man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Come on. Yes.
I was fighting off ninjas. Yeah.
Go with whatever story works,
Took
I
an
say.
injury. Yeah.
But still here.
I had to defend the honor. I saw her like a damsel in distress on the way to my $1 million job, and then she looked like she was in trouble, and I had to change her tire, and unfortunately, I scraped my knuckles.
Oh,
It's not a problem. Anyway, let's go
continue.
back.
Yeah.
And he's like, why the fuck would I be a catfish? Why would I send you this ugly mug instead of like a hot catfish
Yeah,
person?
but you don't necessarily have to be visually catfishing someone. You can be everything else. You can use your own visage.
But it did look, that video he sent me did look a little bit different to the pictures that initially, and he never really sent them unless I really pushed them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, he actually looks about 10 years older than what he claims to be.
Yeah.
So, because he had quite a bit of lines and all that sort of stuff. And it would only be if I pushed for a photo or a video that I would get one. So I think I'm the only person who's actually seen it. So 100% those hands were his hands, but the rest of his body was completely covered. Like literally his dick was just out of his shorts. So, and he sent me one while he was sick with COVID. I was like, oh, not very sick, are you? And his room did not look like he had money. But then other photos of him, like in the shower looked brand new and like real nice, like marble. And it was him, and he was responding, and he was saying how annoyed he was with me. So I had to go at him about standing me up with the drum thing. So he got into the doctors twice. He needed so he has to get infections because obviously wood, splinter, sweat, dirt, blah, blah, blah. It's gone into the cut. But then they reckoned his hand had signs of arthritis. So they wanted to do further scans. He ended up having a cortisone injection that same day, which I was like, that's a fucking lie. And then I find out from someone else, they have got a cortisone injection from their doctor's surgery because their doctor is licensed to do this on the day that she went in, and she wasn't expecting it. So that, I was like, okay, fine, that's a possibility, because I thought for sure that was a lie. And I'm trying to find lies that I can prove a lie so I can be like, look, this would never happen. But of course I can't. So then I ended up going to, so he stood me up, and then I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. And I'm like, I want to know who this fucker is, because he's going to come back.
Yeah, okay.
So I then prompt him, and I'm like, so we had a really great connection. I really do want to see you. Like, I feel like I don't know what's happened. And he's like, immediately responds. And he's like, well, you upset me. You made me feel insecure. Again, he says that to me. And he's like, you made me feel like, I don't want to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So he talks to me for a few weeks, and now it's like Christmas time. And he's like, oh, I'm ready to meet you. Like I'm, I've got all this shit. My family's not come over from Queensland. I'm ready to meet you.
4 months.
Honestly, I just want to say, in this time, she could be dating real people. And so she's wasted all this time with this catfish of trying to, investigate, when she could have gone on 1 million dates with 1 million great guys.
Yeah.
No offense, but I just feel like her priorities are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it did seem like it was entertaining her. It was interesting. But at the same time, I still do think that in the back of her mind, she was hopeful that her suspicions weren't true.
Like, you look at the show Catfish, and there's probably 1 out of 10 end up being like, I'm so sorry, I just was blah, blah, blah. And then it's the real person and they end up being happy. Yeah. So I think maybe, at the back of her mind, she was like, I'm going to be that exception.
I just think that, like, she just was like, oh, well, he looks good, he's nice. That's enough. Like, it's...
I know, it's really bizarre.
But people do that. They like, the person treats you a certain way.
And then it's almost like a drug, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like they draw you in, and then like the whole 3 weeks and all that, and then maybe.
Well, I mean, the analogy of the drugs is great because, like, people who smoke meth, for example, they know they're fucked, but they can't not be fucked
Exactly.
because they're on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, and they might. I mean, I'm not speaking with blanket. Obviously, there are people who are meth who don't care because of their mental health and whatnot. It's their way of living. But I'm sure there are people who do drugs who know how fucked they are and know how much damage it's doing, but it is super addictive.
Yeah.
And so even though you're not necessarily high, you might just be existing, or maybe you are a whole scattered mess. It doesn't matter. You're doing it because
that's why they go back, and that's why they get clean,
right.
and they often just because it's a drug, and this is what this clearly is. This situation,
like. It's not like, it's like alcoholics, same thing. They know it's killing them, but they can't not do it.
Well, look, I look at years ago, like, I mean, when I smoked, same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was ridiculous, but it also was great.
Yeah.
So it took me a couple of goes before I quit.
Absolutely, yeah. So I just think that that's the biggest thing is something in her mind is going.
It was the ego.
Yeah, it is. Like, maybe it is. And she did say that. She said, I love men's attention. That's part of the problem is, like, I get attention from men. She's admitted that she's quite submissive. So, like, someone's paying her attention, she's less likely to speak up. Even though when you talk to her, she sounds very assertive.
Yes.
But when it comes to men, she's clearly not.
Is that because she's insecure?
I don't know, but I think we've discussed this before. And, like, a lot of people who are in very, like, she runs her own business, like she's got teenage sons. There's a way that you have to act in society, like where women have to be, men as well, but like predominantly women. If you're in like a powerful job, you work in a boardroom or something like that, and then you get home and you're like,
true, yes,
fucking throw me around and tell me the rules.
Yeah.
Because I want to release myself from being in charge, and I'm happy for you to tell me what's going on. You know, like maybe that's it.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I haven't delved into it with her personally, but
No,
like
that's fine.
That's also like maybe a touch too far. But anyway.
Okay, continue.
Cool.
Yeah, so this is now 4 months have gone by. So so I'm like, okay, cool, that's great, let's go. Or 3 months.
Well, September the 2nd.
Yeah, through. Oh yeah. I suppose you're right. So then he's like, yeah, I'm ready to meet you, but it'll have to be after Christmas. I've got 2 weeks off. And I was like, great, I have 2 weeks off as well. Be a bit more flexible. So he's like, yeah, cool. And pretty much like starts to go quiet again. And I'm like, look, if you don't want to meet me, it's fine. Like, just say, because I feel like you're just dragging shit out now. And I'm kind of getting annoyed, but I still want to find out who the fuck this dude is, because I'm like, if he has a wife, I'm going to tell his wife what he's been up to. So so then he ends up saying to me, like dragging it. So it's after Christmas now. It's just before New Year's. And he wants to meet me on the 27th. But he wants to meet during the day. And I was like, why not night? And he's like, just the day. So I've only got a few hours. I was like, you got 2 weeks off and you don't really know that many people in Perth. Like, what are you doing? All of a sudden, dog's died. His dog has died. And and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm really sorry.
So this is how many? Let's go through the excuses because this is really interesting.
COVID. The nudes.
The nudes assaulted a guy.
Yeah.
Injury. Dog died.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
creative.
Yeah. So obviously, like, no one really wants to feel like they don't want to push someone if their dog's died. He actually sent me like a picture of these dogs' ashes. Now, he told me he had an Irish wolfhound. This dog looked like a fucking poodle on the ashes.
Yeah, they don't give you all of the ashes. They give you because you pay for the whatever size.
No. It had a picture. It had a picture of this little, and I was like, I don't know what an Irish wolfhound looks like when they're a puppy. But, like, obviously when they're big, I know what they look like. So I was like, maybe it was a photo because it looked like a Polaroid picture on, like, a wooden box. And
of the dog?
Of the dog, yeah.
Okay.
The dog's, like, I think he said, like, 6 or 7. It had cancer or some shit.
Oh, they're fully grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
So they stand, like,
But the picture looked like a fucking poodle. So I was like, what the hell? And I didn't want to question it because I was like, okay, this is just going to make him run off again. Yeah. And I want him to try and meet me still.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I'll come to you. I'll do this. And he's like, no, I'm feeling really sad. And I was like, look, look, I'll come to your house. I never come to guys' houses, but I'll bring you food. I'll pay for dinner. I'll get whatever your
Came to
favorite
my
food
house.
is. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm still alive. So I'm
It's all
gonna...
right, my daughter's here. So
Oh, no murders. No
no
murders.
murdering in front of the child. So yeah.
Sadly.
Come
So
back next week.
I've got a
Yeah.
I've got a death wish anyway.
Yeah, we'll
Like,
come
I mean,
back
look at
next
this. I'm
week.
provoking this crazy person.
Yeah.
Like,
So they come back next week. She won't be here. We'll do the murdering then.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, he ends up going like, I'm so sad, all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll bring you food, like anything to try and provoke him to meet me. Because I want to see his face now. I'm like determined to see who the fuck has been catfishing me for so long. So I'm like, okay, cool, like that's fine. So ghost me again before the date. A day before the date, ghost me. Then
Why is he? Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Then he ends up going and messaging me on New Year's Eve, right before I'm leaving for a music festival. Right. So in my mind, I'm like, he doesn't want me to hook up at this music festival on New Year's Eve. So I don't drink. So I don't drink when I go out. I don't do any of that sort of stuff. Oh, he also is a big drinker. So that kind of was like, oh, okay. He's like, can I drink? Oh, he broke his phone as well at one point when he ghosted me for a couple of days, broke his phone. I was like, oh yeah, sure. So the wife got into your phone probably. But anyway, so that was another thing, like another excuse not to talk to me for a period of time. So then he ends up saying, hope you have a really great night. Sorry, I've been so depressed lately about my best friend. Like, she's the only person who's got me through my, my relationship before. It's just been me and her in Perth. Like, I moved here to get away from all the dramas because apparently his ex-partner that he was with for 10 years, they were trying for a baby. And then he pretty much found out she was on the pill and didn't want a child. So they broke up as a result. They were engaged and all this stuff, which, look, I have heard of stories like that. So, but also be upfront with people. If you don't want fucking kids, just say you don't want fucking kids. Like, seriously, why drag it out? So anyway, so I'm like, okay, maybe that's true. Maybe that part's true. It's not. But, yeah, so he ends up saying all this stuff and I'm like, okay, well, let me know when you feel better. So January now. Messages me and he's like, okay, I'm feeling good now. Like, I'm free this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, no, he said, I'm busy this weekend, but I'm free Monday. So over the weekend, turns out he's gone camping. And I was like, oh, you don't seem like the type to go camping. And he was like, yeah, no, like, we're not really going camping. We're going to stay in an Airbnb in Mandurah. And I was like, Mandurah? What the fuck? Why are you even going there? So
that's not in any way, shape or form camping, but
no.
Yeah.
So... Because I called him out.
Sorry, that's one of those like, oh, so I really like books. And then you go, oh, I'm not really into books. And I'm like, when I say I like books, I mean I like to look at books. I don't read them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh shit, I've got to align my interests with hers. So she's just kind of questioned it. So therefore I've got to kind of, which is his MO. Which is what he's done.
Pretty much.
So the camping in Mandurah.
Yeah, which he lives north of the river, so it's actually quite a trek for him. But then I'm like, oh, okay, well, are you going to be back on Monday? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to be back on Monday. So Sunday goes by, don't hear from him. Monday, and I don't hear from him. So I send him like an angry message again. And I was like, hey, dude, like I haven't heard from you. I'm going to assume that this is not happening. He immediately sends me a voice message. I'm stuck here. Like I came down with friends because I actually recognized the car was a different car sound to what he normally drives. And I said to him, oh, how come you sound like this is how come this sounds like a different car? It sounds like almost like a van, like an older van or 4-wheel drive or something. Whereas his car doesn't really sound like that. And he goes, oh, I've got multiple vehicles, but this is a work vehicle. And I was like, a work vehicle? Why would you have a work vehicle that you're going to borrow? And he's like, oh, we kind of share it around. And I was like, what?
Okay, so I'm going to jump in now because we've reached an hour 15. Okay. But I just wanted to just says a couple of things with the like talking about the car and whatnot and the you've gone away with friends, but you've gone camping to Mandurah. You're actually staying in an Airbnb. Oh, I got stuck here.
Stuck.
Okay. Can I just point out the fact that today you got on a train, a bus, and an Uber to get to my house.
Yes.
It took you an hour and a half.
It did.
But you made it.
I did.
Right.
Alive.
We live in Australia.
We do.
Not bumfuck Africa.
Exactly.
Right? If you need to go somewhere,
you can get there.
You can get there.
Yeah.
So if you've gone away with mates and you're supposed to be back for work by Monday and then someone's car breaks down or something like that, get a fucking train. And if you
Exactly.
also, can I just say this? If you make $1,500 an hour, Mr. Billionaire Drummer,
Yes.
get a fucking Uber from Mandurah to
Or-
home.
In Mandurah, you could hire a car.
Hire a car and then just drop it.
Ooh.
There are a million ways.
Yes.
It's
You could
ridiculous.
you could go to the. I think there's a Mandurah airport, and get
hire a fucking
yeah.
helicopter
Right?
to drop you off.
with your $1,500 an hour.
It wouldn't matter. Like these bullshit. His story, his lack of consistency in his bullshit is just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'll also just point out that was number 5.
That number 5, didn't cancelled.
Mm.
Seriously,
They didn't actually set a date for this, but the whole point was he was supposed to be back so they could catch up. She's given him
5
chances by this point.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
And still, her thing is, I'm going to catch him out, but it's really, I'm still hopeful.
Maybe. Because like you said, she's talking like he's a real person.
Yes.
He's not.
No.
We know that now.
Yeah.
At the time, she was still suspicious, but she knows that now. She knows this guy's not real. So it's interesting from a psychological point of view that when she's talking in present tense.
Yeah.
Like it's a reality. Whereas she knows full well that none of what he said was true. Especially, so what I'm going to say is we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So next week, you did hear just her mention about him and the whole losing a child thing.
Yes.
Okay, so when it gets into the next phase of the catfishing where she bails, right? And then when he reappears in her life as a different person, and that's when she works out that he's talking to someone that she knows.
Okay.
And that's where he's using a different name and a different backstory. And that's when she was like, hold on a second, different name, different backstory, different occupation. What's going on?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the backstory with the child and the wife and stuff, different.
Okay.
The job, different.
Wow.
The photos, different. The name, different.
Okay.
Yeah, but same guy.
Cool.
It's yeah.
Wow.
But anyway,
Okay.
that'll do.
That'll do, donkey. Definitely.
Let's do some sing-song.
Fun. Yay.
So you're going to do karaoke, I'm going to cook.
Sounds great.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to In My Lounge Room, intro music written and performed by Damien McKay. Please be sure to follow us on our social media, on Instagram, In My Lounge Room Podcast on Facebook. Send us an email at skyanddamo@gmail.com. Check out my music on Spotify or Tidal or you can use it on Instagram and Facebook actually for your stories and reels. Just put in my name, Damien McKay, DAMIENMACKAY, and you'll find me on your favorite streaming platforms, or for your reels and stories on Facebook, Insta, TikTok, whatever. But I'll have new music coming out soon, so please stay tuned and come back next week for more In My Lounge Room. Thank you.